Hey everyone, hope you're holding up okay. I'd like to offer you this yoga practice today. So be sure to take as much time as you need to in between these postures, between the moments, in between the moments. Give yourself as much time as you need. These are all options. Please just know that. And be sure to maybe just take a moment to pause the video if you need to and rest in Shavasana, rest in some other form of restful body position that makes sense to you. And again, thank you for taking time for yourself today. With that being said, let's get started. We'll start in a resting position of your choice. So I'm offering to you, if you'd like, to be in maybe in a child's pose, or you can be in a seated position, more like a Shavasana with your belly up toward the sky. Whatever you choose for this moment, be sure to move toward that. And once you settle into your opening resting position, just take a moment here to recognize that your breath is flowing. So maybe you recognize that the breath is flowing more up into your upper body. Maybe you notice it more in the lower body, near the base of the spine. As you notice your breath, just take a moment to bring that consciousness, that awareness to the breath, while detaching from the urge to kind of assess the breath or judge the breath. As you recognize the breath here, maybe you choose as well to extend the length of the inhale and the length of the exhale. So I offer you here the opportunity to bring some length, some expansion to your breath. Maybe exploring the opportunity to breathe more into the belly if you feel like you're breathing up more into the chest. Maybe also noticing the opportunity to breathe in toward the back and between the shoulder blades. And if you're new to this act of pausing to breathe, maybe begin by bringing the awareness of, or maybe the image of, pouring water into a vase or pouring water into a pitcher. So as you inhale, you're pouring that water from the bottom of the pitcher of the vase. And as you breathe, you're filling that vase, that pitcher, a little bit more with every moment. And then as you reach the top of that vessel, as you exhale, you're pouring that water slowly back out. So continue with that, maybe if that image is helpful for you. If not, continue with whatever you feel like you need to connect to your breath in this moment. And next, as you're ready, we'll inhale. And maybe just allow yourself to come forward to a hands and knees position or to a tabletop position. So allowing the tops of the feet, the shins to be on the mat, the palms to make contact with the mat or the surface that you're using today. And we'll start here by just bringing awareness to the connection of the hands to the ground and the tops of the feet to the ground. So maybe just bring awareness to where your hands and the tops of your legs, your feet are making contact with the ground. And then from here, begin to add a little bit of pressure to the tips of the fingers and the tops of the feet. So we're imagining we'll press ourselves up off the ground, almost like we could come onto the tips of the fingers, almost lifting the palm of the hand off the mat, and almost like we could lift the knees off the mat. So we're using that active pressure. And maybe you'll notice that your abdominals begin to activate as well. And from here, we'll take a few rounds of movement, maybe moving into kind of a cat-cow type movement. So if you're choosing to take cat-cow, as you inhale, gently drop the belly to the ground and then pull the chest up and through. And then allow the shoulder blades to press against the ribcage. Maybe looking up to the sky. And then as you exhale, continue with that pressing movement. So pressing the ground away, gently tucking the tailbone, maybe lifting the space between the shoulder blades, and maybe bringing your chin towards your chest. And maybe you stay here for another round of breath, and maybe you inhale, coming back toward a cat, or a cow movement, I should say, from your cat. And then exhaling, maybe finding your way back toward that cat spine. As you inhale, this time you come back toward a tabletop position. And we'll take a lateral bend by bringing the right elbow over toward the right hip, maybe bending the right elbow, and then maybe pressing the left hand into the ground. Maybe looking back toward your right toes. And then once you inhale, once again, come back toward center, and exhale, find your way back toward the left this time. So again, moving with what you need. So maybe pressing the right hand, maybe bending the left elbow, maybe looking back toward the toes, or maybe more so focusing on moving the rib cage. So not so much moving the neck. And as you inhale, maybe coming back towards center, taking another round of that. So finding your way to a cow spine by lifting the heart. Finding your way to a cat spine by pressing the ground away. And then inhaling, coming back towards center. And exhaling, finding your way to that lateral bend. So side bending in the spine here, stretching out the side of the body. Breathing here, finding that length in the breath as you're ready. And once again, as you inhale, maybe coming back through center, and exhaling back over toward the left. And with your next inhale, coming back toward the tabletop neutral position. Maybe just noticing a moment how the back body has responded. Maybe finding a little bit of length in the front body that wasn't there before. Maybe finding a little more length in the back body as well. And then from here, we'll gently begin to move the weight back and forth, and just take a moment to bring awareness to what your shoulder blades are doing as you make this movement. So we're finding that the shoulder blade might be kind of sliding along the rib cage. So maybe play with bringing your weight a little bit farther back, and a little bit farther forward, and noticing what type of activation is happening in the shoulders, between the shoulder blades, to help stabilize them, and also helping to extend them here as you reach back. So moving with your breath, so inhaling, maybe coming forward, exhaling, moving back. So energetically finding that prana as you move forward, apana, grounding energy as you move back. And eventually, once you're ready, finding your way back to hands and knees or tabletop, we'll tuck the toes under when you're ready. And take a nice inhale, finding some length. And with your exhale, gently begin to walk your hands back. So we're focusing our energy here to the bottoms of the feet. So once you begin to feel maybe your weight moving back and you feel the sensation of the stretch in the bottoms of the feet, that's where you just gently pause and begin to breathe. So our plantar fascia, the bottoms of our feet, the connective tissue, the kind of encasing that helps to keep those tissues together in our feet, that's what we're working to bring length to and space to. So it doesn't get a lot of opportunity. As you imagine, we put shoes on our feet, we walk on our feet all day, we don't often do this type of a movement. So it may be completely new to you. If it's something that doesn't feel safe to you, if it's something that feels incredibly painful, or like your body is telling you with its signals that this is not safe for you, feel free to always walk out of this position. But maybe you choose to pause here with your breath, almost imagining maybe that idea of the pitcher or the vase. And this time you're filling the pitcher with the breath, starting with the toes. So really breathing all the way from the toes to the crown of the head. And maybe opening the mouth and sighing the breath out as you pour that imaginary pitcher empty. Take one or two more breaths, or finding your way out as you need to. And when you're ready, finding your way back to a hands and knees position, tabletop, take a moment to bring the tops of the feet back to the ground. Maybe curling the toes up toward the heels, maybe lifting the heels, pointing the toes toward the back of the room, bringing the tops of the feet toward the shins, maybe making some circles with your ankles. And then once you're here, back in hands and knees, when you're ready, we'll bring the right foot forward. So maybe that requires you to walk your hands back and bring your right foot forward. Maybe you're able to bring your right foot towards your knee toward your nose and plant your right foot, whatever you need to get there. We'll find our way into a lower lunge. Just bringing the top of the left foot down, left knee down, and maybe bringing the hands to the ground or blocks. So starting here and maybe growing. If you prefer something a little bit more upward moving or energetic up toward the sky, plant your right foot, press your heel toward the ground, and inhale your arms to the sky. Being free here to allow your left hip to reach toward the ground. I'm choosing to bring my hands to the ground here because I need that grounding source today. And then once you're here, finding a few rounds of breath. Noticing that potential sensation of stretch in the front of the left thigh here, up toward the hip, up toward the waistline. And then from here, we'll move into a revolved position with this low lunge. So move at your pace. So we'll plant the left hand down when you're ready. And as you inhale, reach your right arm to the sky. Feel free to reach your left arm as long or as wide as you need it to go. So maybe it's off the mat, maybe it's closer toward the inside of your right foot. Reaching the right arm to the sky, and then see if you can gently bring your right knee toward the middle part of your chest. And maybe exploring a little more opening through the chest, maybe feeling that openness on the outer right hip. And then as you exhale, bring your right hand back to the ground. When you're ready, on your next inhale, we'll find our way into a half split position. So we haven't done a lot with the hamstrings yet today, so move with awareness. Just shifting your weight back toward your left knee and walking your hands back toward the back of the mat. And then pointing your right toes toward the sky, gently beginning to bring your right hip back. And maybe beginning to reach your heart forward toward the front edge of the mat. So maybe hands are on the ground or on blocks. Maybe you tuck your left toes under and you walk your weight back a little bit farther. Again, allowing the right hip to gently move back, extending the heart forward. Finding your breath. This is a very intense hamstring stretch for most of us who probably aren't moving our hamstrings in a way that's active sometimes. So for those of us who might be sitting a lot during the day, our hamstrings, our glutes, all of our hip tissues oftentimes get pretty tight. So as we're pausing here, see if you can really lengthen your breath, focusing on not so much forcing the breath, but finding space in the breath. One more round of breath at your pace, always feeling free to come out as you need to. And then from here, we'll inhale and walk our hands back. This time we'll plant the right hand on the inside of the right foot, and we'll walk the right leg out. And we'll plant the right foot down, walk our way back to where we can sit up on the left knee, top of the left foot down. And we're finding a gate pose position here. So let's bring the right hand to the right thigh or right leg. Inhale your left arm to the sky, up toward the ceiling. And then exhale, reaching over at your pace. So again, moving with what you have today and what you feel your body might need. So right leg is out, left knee is down, left arm is reaching up and over. Bringing some space again to the side body, just like we did with our belly down and cat-cow when we're moving side to side. Similar movement, we're just belly up. I guess we're belly forward here. One more round of breath, maybe walking your right fingertips closer toward the ground. As you inhale, slowly coming back up, planting the left and the right hand. And then this time we'll extend the right leg back as we come all the way forward. So we went from side or right leg out, so planting the hands, bringing the right leg back. And extend the right leg back. Imagine you're pressing your heel toward a surface behind you. And then from here we'll bend the right knee. So imagine you're doing kind of a bicep curl in that space between the back of your right leg. And from here, really press into the ground, find that activation between the shoulder blades, and we'll begin to gently pulse the heel toward the sky. And move with your breath here. Be sure that you're focusing on your breath. Maybe taking a few more rounds. Slower movements can be more challenging, so move with what you got. For 3, 2, and 1. And then bring that right knee slowly and gently back to the earth. Maybe take a moment to take some cat-cows if you need to. Maybe just some movements, maybe pressing the weight back again, playing with the extension and flexion in the shoulder area, the back. Finding some expansiveness in your breath. And then gradually, eventually getting back tabletop position. And then as you're ready from here, we'll bring the left foot forward, balancing out our body. For those of you who might be new to the physical practice of yoga, or even just the general practice of yoga, oftentimes balance is kind of the cliche word we go back to because it's really at the heart of yoga. Seeking balance or seeking some form of equilibrium, both in our physical body, in our life, our perception of ourself. Right, and as you find your way to your lower lunge again, maybe you're finding more of an upward moving energetic expression. So maybe you gently exhale or press the left heel so you can reach the arms to the sky. That's where you like to be in your lunge. And again, I'm choosing hands to the ground today to really get into that gravity connection. Do a couple more rounds of breath. Again, noticing if your body is asking for you to come out of this expression, this movement. again, we'll find that revolved position. So right hand will plant when you're ready, and maybe you're reaching the left arm to the sky. Maybe you walk the right hand farther out if you need to, get that more of a twisting experience in the mid-back, or maybe you walk the hand closer toward the body and bring the left knee closer toward the chest, the middle of the chest. And then maybe you use that activation to press the left heel, open the chest, really getting into left hip. One more inhale and one more exhale. Okay, that's your last exhale. Let's plant the left hand down. We're moving to our half split, Ardha Hanumanasana. So from here again, walking the weight back, maybe tucking the right toes under, extending the left leg slower than you want to. So imagine you're gently releasing, pouring that water out of the base as you exhale. Find your way back to your expression of Ardha Hanuman. From the other side, I was a little bit higher up here. And that can be a little more intense. So do what you need to. With our spinal action here, so our vertebral column rests in the pelvic bowl as well. So you'll notice, at least that your hips and your pelvis as it moves, your spine, your vertebral column, all of those tissues that are lining it as well will move in sync with that part of your body. So if your tailbone is tucked, you'll notice a rounding in your spine. Almost like the shoulder blades are reaching toward the sky, the space between the shoulder blades will kind of puff up. So do what you need to here. Just know that that's a normal response if your tailbone is tucked, meaning your hips are moving down toward the ground here. And if it feels painful to have your tailbone tucked like that, maybe play with walking your weight back a little bit farther so you can lift your chest a little bit more. Take one more round of breath. Again, listening for your signals if you need to heed the response and come out of the pose. And then as you're ready, we'll come back forward. And we're moving into that left leg out expression. So for this side, I'll kind of rotate toward you. We're finding our way to gate pose. So we're moving that left leg out to the side of the mat, outer edge of the mat, rising up to our knees. Left foot is down. And then bring the left hand to the left thigh. Inhale the right arm to the sky, reaching up toward the sky, toward the ceiling. And then exhaling, reaching over. And the gaze, or where you're looking, doesn't really necessarily matter as long as your neck feels safe. If you're looking down and that's a lot for your neck, maybe try looking up, and vice versa. And with every inhale, see if you can imagine your fingertips reaching closer toward the sky. Maybe activating the back body, the glutes, to help alleviate some of the gravity pressure on the right knee. One more round of breath. So one more inhale when you're ready. One more exhale at your pace. And when you're ready, inhale, coming back upward. And we're matching what we did on the other side. So when you're ready, inhale the left leg back, extending the left leg. Again, imagining you're pressing the left heel away. And then with your next exhale, doing that imaginary bicep curl. This time with the leg instead of the arm. And then gently press the earth away, finding that activation in the spine. And as you exhale, begin to slowly press the left heel toward the sky. Small little pulses, moving with your breath. Noticing almost immediate activation of Agni, our internal fire, our flame. Take 3 more seconds here. Alright, taking one more, and once you're ready, moving back to hands and the knees. Take a moment here, getting some length to the back body that we just worked. Let's find our way into a child's pose expression. So that might mean knees are wider for you. Maybe you prefer to have knees together for more of a little seed. If you're taking little seed, maybe reaching the arms alongside the body. See if you can bring some fullness to your breath. You're more than welcome, of course, to stay here. So maybe you're staying in that expression, that form with your body. If you'd like to move up off the mat from here, we'll move our way slowly to Uttanasana or our forward folding position. So maybe you do that by walking your hands back toward your body. Maybe you walk your feet toward your hands. Wherever you find yourself, just take a moment maybe to allow the head to hang. So Uttanasana is the standing version of a seated fold. So imagine if the mat were behind you, if the earth were behind you, it's the same idea. We're just using, we have our head toward the ground instead of our head moving forward toward the top edge of our mat. So see if you can find that sort of a movement. We're still keeping an active spine, even though we're allowing it to hang and using gravity to decompress. But see if you can find some active movement here. Maybe that's by pressing your heels to the ground, activating your thighs gently, and then lifting your hips so you can allow your head to hang. And from here, we'll continue with that side-to-side movement. So starting with the left foot, we'll shift the weight to the left foot, bend into the left knee, and then bend the right knee. So really getting lower toward the ground. And as you activate and shift your weight to the left heel, gently lift the right foot, right leg, and keep the left knee bent to keep the right knee bent. And then exhale, bring the right foot to the ground, shift the weight to the right, active right heel in front of the left leg, opening the hip a little bit. And then exhale, left foot down, inhale right, lifts, exhale right foot down, inhale left lifts. You can keep your hands planted, you can have your hands on blocks if you have them handy. Just taking a few small movements, maybe extending the left leg farther back. Focusing on here on kind of rotating the hip as you extend the legs. Back on hands and not hands and knees before we fold. From your forward fold, we'll press ourselves back to downward facing dog. So take your time getting there. From down dog, we're working to bring our weight back toward the heels. Allow your fingers to be spread out nice and wide. Maybe looking back toward your feet. From our down dog, once you're ready, as you inhale, lift your right leg to the sky. See if you can extend out through that right heel. And as you exhale, bend your right knee, bring the knee toward the nose and press the ground away, just like you're moving into cat spine. And inhale the right leg back to the sky. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, right leg up and back. Exhale, knee to nose. And then this time we'll plant the right foot between the hands. So take your time to get there. We're meeting in a lower lunge. This time our left heel is tucked under. So left knee is off the mat. Keeping the
hands on the ground here. A few rounds of breath. Noticing that left hip gently sinking a little bit closer, offering yourself that. And then again, we'll plant the left hand down and hold the right arm to the sky for that revolved expression. And again, option to bring the right knee closer toward the midline of the body. Maybe opening the chest, getting more opening outer right hip area. Reaching your fingertips back behind you. And then with your next exhale, bring your right hand to the ground. Walk your hands to the left. Bring your left heel down. Right foot face planted, toes pointing forward. And then we'll open it up to warrior two. So your right knee will bend. Left heel is reaching toward the ground. Your arms out to a T, maybe looking over your right fingertips. And maybe fanning your fingers out nice and wide. Maybe bending more into your right knee. Allowing the right knee to gently glide away from the middle of the body. From here, once you're ready, we'll inhale and straighten the right leg. Take a nice full inhale, find some length. And gently press the left hip toward the wall behind you. And as you inhale, reach your right fingertips forward. And we'll tilt to find our way into Trikonasana. So right hand might plant on the right shin, on the ground. And lifting your left arm to the sky if you'd like to. Focus on driving the left heel into the ground. So you can gently welcome the chest to open. 1 or 2 rounds of breath, moving with what you need. And once you're ready, as you exhale, bend the right knee, tuck the left toes under, so coming away from the heel, and walk the right toes to point in front of you, and roll to the outer edge of the left foot. So we're finding an external rotation in the hip here. Maybe walk your toes closer down toward the bottom edge of the mat, or keeping the toes forward. Maybe gently lift your hips to the sky and reach your right arm to the sky. And then from here, option to stay here or maybe take a few rounds of breath in side plank. So to get there, we're going to bring our right heel on top of our left. So maybe play with that transition. 2 breaths. All right, our last breath, bring the right hand to the ground. Pause in a high plank for a few rounds of breath to find your way to child's pose. All right, eventually meeting back in downward facing dog. With your next inhale, left leg's turn. So reach the left leg to the sky slowly. Pause there for a breath or two. And exhale, bring your knee to the nose when you're ready. And inhale, left leg up and back. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, leg back. Exhale, knee to nose. And with your breath, finding your way to plant the left foot. Keeping the right toes tucked under, finding that lower lunge. A few rounds of breath here. Okay, with your pace and your timing, finding your revolved expression. So right hand stays planted, inhale the left arm up to the sky. Again, feel free to walk the right hand as far out as you need to find your expression. It's more so about what the hips are doing here, not so much about what the arms are doing. So the hips again guide the spine. That's what we're working on to open. So as you bring your left knee toward the middle part of the body, maybe notice your spine can open, get that opening in the left hip as well. Right. Once you're ready, if your left arm is reached to the sky, plant it down on the exhale. Lock your hands over to the right this time. Bring the right heel down. Bend your left knee and rise to warrior two. So with your arms out to a T from here, maybe fan the fingers out wide. Maybe looking over your left fingertips. Activating from shoulders out through fingertips. Then maybe you're taking Trikonasana as well. So this time inhale, straighten the left leg, bump the right hip gently back. And then inhale the left fingertips forward. And as you exhale, tilt from the hips. Reaching the right arm up if that's where you are today. Maybe resting the right hand to the right hip. Maybe left hand to left leg or to the ground. And then again, drive the right heel into the ground to free up some more opening in the chest. Maybe looking up toward the sky. One more breath here. Opening to the right side of the rib cage. And then exhale, plant the hand down, roll to the outer edge of the right foot, and then walk the left foot to where you need to safely lift your left hip. Maybe your left arm reaches as well. Maybe gently lifting the left hip a little bit higher. And maybe if you wanted to try it on this side, finding your way to that side plank. So left heel goes on top of right heel. 2 breaths. And once you're ready, exhale. Plant the left hand down. Maybe pause in that plank pose for a few rounds of breath. Really activating through back body. Press the earth away. Activate through the legs as well. And then inhale, find your way back to down dog. Exhale, find your way down to your knees. Find your way to a child's pose expression, some form that allows you to bring your heart toward the ground. Take some time to bring that spaciousness to your breath. So instead of thinking of bringing length to your breath, focus on bringing some space. Again, you're welcome to stay there if you'd like to, but if you'd like to move into more of a back bending expression, we'll move onto our bellies once you're ready. So when you find your way to your belly, we're moving into Bhujangasana. So start by bringing tops of the feet to the ground and plant your hands at push-up, so just alongside the body, and bring your elbows toward each other. And from here, press the tops of the feet to the ground enough to where the knees might lift off the ground. So really activating the legs. And then bringing the chin to the earth. Take a full exhale, all the air out to start. And then with your inhale, press the tops of the feet into the ground. Activate your glutes and lift your chest off the ground. So Finding that active spine to help lift the heart up toward the sky. And find your breath here. Breathing up into the rib cage. Take one more inhale, maybe lift the heart a little bit higher. Pulling that last rib off the mat with the help of the glutes. And then exhale all the way back to the belly. Bring your right ear to the mat. Reach your arms alongside the body to rest. Take a moment to tap into the flow of your breath in relationship to your heart. If you've had enough belly down back bending, feel free to stay where you are resting, maybe switching to your left ear just to balance out the neck. If you'd like another back bend, we'll move into Salabhasana next. So the variation of Salabhasana I'm offering today is with the interlace of your fingers, so for a shoulder rinse. So if that's where you'd like to move, from here reach behind you, take on that clasp, all 10 fingers interlacing, and start here by maybe beginning to kind of drag your knuckles toward your heels. So just playing with what it feels like to do that. And then bring your shoulder blades together. So maybe you notice that your thumbs lift up away from your hips. And then from here, activate the legs just like you did with Bhujangasana. So press the tops of the feet to the ground. And then bring the chin back toward the mat. Take an exhale. And as you inhale, begin to reach your knuckles back, lifting your chest away from the mat, activate the glutes, and then maybe lift the toes. Allow the hips to be as wide as they need to. And then again, inhaling and lifting, maybe lifting that last rib off the mat, activating the glutes, looking up toward the sky if that's okay for your neck. Take one more inhale, maybe lift. And then exhale. Release all of that energy, allowing your arms to rest alongside the body, unraveling, creating heaviness here. Again, referring back to that idea of balance. The balance between firmness, rootedness, and lightness, earth and air. Sometimes we're asked to be grounded, firm. Sometimes we're asked to be more flexible and a little bit more open, more creative, or abstract. Right, as you're resting here, maybe you're choosing to stay, or maybe you'd like to move into another back bend. So the last back bend for today, with belly down, is Dhanurasana or floor bow. So if you're choosing to move there, once you're ready, just bring your chin back toward the mat. Allow your knees to lift, this time bending in the knees. We'll reach back for the feet. So as you notice, I reach back and my thumbs are down here. That's to allow some space in the shoulders. And then from here, maybe just start by bringing the heels toward the glutes. So maybe that's enough of a back bend for you. Maybe you're staying here with the chin down, reaching the heels toward the glutes. Maybe you'd like to go a little bit farther off the mat. So as you exhale, send the air out. And as you inhale, start by activating the glutes so your knees feel like they want to lift, and then gently lift the chest away from the mat. Bring the shoulder blades together. And then maybe point the toes toward the sky with the help of the glutes. And then find your breath. Maybe as you inhale, pointing the toes farther toward the sky using the glutes. And find your breath. One more inhale. And once you're ready, as you exhale, releasing the legs, the chest, the arms, slowly allowing the legs to land on the ground. Breathe into the belly, and then see if you can allow some breath to the space in the back body, between the lower ribs and the hips. If you'd like some movement here after that back bend, feel free to lift your legs off the mat here, bending in the knees, and gently kind of windshield wiper the knees side to side for a moment. Seeing if you can keep the hips down, just letting them move in relationship to the movement of the thigh bone. So maybe noticing the movement coming from where the thigh connects to the hips, and where that thigh bone connects to the knee, or where the bones and the legs connect to the knee. And then allowing the legs to rest whenever you're ready. Slowly bringing them back to the mat. And I welcome you to stay here, belly down, resting, just connecting to the power of those back bends. Maybe you need that more grounded sense of awareness. Maybe you need more of that firm foundation below you. I'd like to bring some space into your upper body, into your shoulders. From here, we'll explore shoulder rinse by threading the needle with our legs extended. So we'll start with our left shoulder technically. We'll extend our right arm forward. And when you're ready, lift your chest away from the mat, and we'll bring the left arm under the space between the earth and your right tricep. So your left fingertips will reach out toward the long edge of your mat. And then from here, super gently allowing your left shoulder to rest back to the ground. And maybe allow your forehead to reach toward the ground. And then see if you can find breath as soon as you land in your expression of this rotation. And then with every inhale, we're filling that vase or that pitcher all the way to the crown of the head. And with the exhale, we're slowly pouring the water out of that pitcher. One more round of breath here. Full, expansive breath. And once you're ready, we'll inhale, extend the left arm forward. An option here to work on the front part of the shoulders. So allow some space so you can bring your left arm out to kind of a Y, or you can bend the left elbow and kind of have a 90-degree bend in that elbow. See if you can bring your left elbow a little bit higher than your shoulder. And then from here, we'll plant the right hand, bend the left knee, take an inhale. Actually, we'll switch legs, so it's our right leg this time. And as you inhale, find some length. And as you exhale, we'll press the hand into the mat, and we're rolling ourselves open to where maybe you can bring your right foot to plant. If it's tough to bring the right foot to plant today, see for resting your left temple or your left cheek, and then stack your knees. And again, find that fullness of breath. listening for breathing into the upper body here, allowing the belly to expand with the breath. Just a couple moments of rest here. See if we're finding one more breath, maybe coming out of the pose if you'd like to. And as you're ready with your exhale, rolling yourself to your belly. Bring the left arm back, just reaching the left arm alongside the body for a moment. Taking a moment to reconnect between those movements. And then at your pace, in your time, if you'd like to, reaching the left arm forward. And then inhaling, lifting the chest enough to where you can bring the right arm through that space, threading the needle. And then as you find your next exhale, gently allowing the chin to come down toward the ground. Maybe the forehead rests there. See if we're gently welcoming the right shoulder to the ground. If you notice any holding on or squeezing in the lower back and the hips, the glutes, see if you can allow that energy, that holding on energy, to be transferred to the breath. Bringing some expansion to the breath all the way into the belly. And again, slowly with your awareness, as you're ready, we'll inhale to reach the right arm back out. And we're finding our way, as you're ready, to that half Y position or to that 90-degree bend. And again, see if we're just bringing the right elbow a little bit higher than the shoulder. And that's to give us some openness into that right front shoulder area. And this time, left hand plants. This time we'll bend the left knee. And we'll rest the right ear on the mat. And take a nice full inhale once again to prepare. And with your exhale, we'll roll ourselves open, using the press of the left palm to maybe bring the left foot to plant, or maybe stacking the knees. And allow your left, or your right ear, your right side of the face, just to rest on the mat or whatever surface is there for you. Seeing if you can really expand the breath here. Maybe again bringing that awareness of the pitcher, the vase, water pouring into the pitcher with the inhale, and emptying the pitcher with the exhale. See if you can give yourself one more round of breath, maybe coming out of the form as you're ready. And then as you find your last exhale, rolling back to the belly. Take a moment to reach that right arm alongside the body, just really using gravity to reset that part of your body that you just brought a lot of space to. So again, spaciousness, that vata energy, that wind energy, paired with groundedness, firmness, that kapha energy. From here, maybe this is the spot that you'd like to conclude your time in your physical practice today. So maybe you're choosing to stay belly down in this resting position, and that's a fantastic option for a day like today, or any day really, but especially in the time we live in right now where groundedness is so key. Maybe you're staying here. Maybe you'd like to find another way to rest. So maybe you're rolling yourself to one side, finding your way to a seat. Maybe you're finding your way onto your back if that's where you didn't start today, or you did start, you'd like to balance things out, or maybe you'd like to return there. So maybe if you're on your back, again, your legs are long, arms alongside the body, or maybe your feet are planted, adding that extra sense of awareness of the earth under you, tapping into the palms of the feet, or the soles of our feet, which are like the palms, bringing some sensory awareness to the supportive nature of the earth. And again, as you settle into this space, take a moment just to bring awareness to how you are supported, whether you're belly down, belly up, seated. If you're seated, bringing special awareness to how the hips, the sits bones, are supported with the earth under them. I invite you here to bring some awareness to the very center of your forehead, the space between your eyes. Maybe think of that as the epicenter of your thoughts. As you bring your focus to that area, maybe you're even bringing your hand or a fingertip to that area. However you're bringing awareness to that area, maybe think of one way today, or this week, or from now on, that you can bring some form of control to your thoughts. And by control, more so, how can you bring us awareness of choice to your thoughts? From here, I'd invite you to shift your awareness to the space at the very center of your rib cage, the heart. Maybe even shifting to the physiological location of your heart on the left side of your rib cage. And offering you as well to bring your hand or some other form of awareness to the heart here. Maybe imagine that as the epicenter or the house of your heart, your feeling state. Your connection to not just your physical heart that helps to pump blood and circulation to our entire body, but also the awareness of the emotion of love or the emotion of groundedness, excitement, connectedness. And just like we did with our head, maybe take a moment here to pause and think of what is one way that you can instill a sense of choice in your heart or in your feelings. Maybe it's something you might be able to do for yourself today, whether it's stepping outside, breathing some fresh air. Maybe it's taking a moment to breathe in a smell that brings great comfort to you. Maybe it's imagining what it would be like to be able to cope your way through a very difficult situation. And then lastly, I'd invite you to shift your awareness to kind of the space in your stomach or your belly area. Maybe just imagining the whole abdominal region
and seeing that as the epicenter of your intuition. So our intuition being the kind of the unspoken, undescribable gut feeling that guides us in times when we need some direction. Also, is literally the physiological epicenter of our sense of safety and connectedness, and our sense of being able to foster safety and connectedness. So I'd also invite you to pause here and recognize maybe what is one way that I can foster, one way that I can increase a sense of choice in my intuition. Maybe it's listening to those pangs of awareness that come when you feel overwhelmed and you need a break. Maybe it's that sense of awareness that you'd like to call someone or contact someone because you need to hear their voice. So instilling that sense of choice in your gut, your intuition, following that in ways that foster safety and connectedness. And then with that string of awareness between your intuition, your heart, your feelings, and your thinking mind, I invite you to give yourself plenty of time to soak up that awareness. Just be here in your resting, your final resting for as much time as you're able to, up to 5-10 minutes if that's possible for you today. And at this time, I leave you for now, but I'm so full of gratitude and happiness for being able to share this time with you, even though we're not physically sharing space. I do feel the connection to all of you who are watching this brief practice today. And from here, I deeply vow to the humanity, the goodness, the fullness of yourself. Sending out love to all beings everywhere from here. May you have a fantastic day filled with some form of choice. Namaste. And again, feel free to stay here in your resting position as long as you need. Otherwise, maybe you're finishing your practice here. And I thank you again for your time. See you next time.